Coming to you from the Irish Roots Cafe at irishroots.com, I'm Mike OLaughlin, your host. The ancestor I'd most like to meet is Mary Kelleher, my great-grandmother. She stayed behind in Glenflesk, County Kerry. It seems her parents had drowned just before the boat carried the rest of the family to America, so she stayed behind grief-stricken, or so the story goes. The family saying for the day is, "By Mac and O, you'll always know a true Irishman," they say, for he wears his Irish afore his name each and every day. Welcome home. This is the Irish Roots Cafe. It's good to be back. This is where every day's a holiday and there's always room for one more. This is week number 78 from the Irish Roots Cafe Broadcast Network. That little intro was a promo I did for Lisa over at Genealogy Gems. If anybody else wants to send one in here, I'll be sure glad to play it. Maybe we get some response on your search. Help spread the word at any rate. And remember, you just come right this way and have a seat with me today in the corner booth, celebrating our 78th week. Sweeney clear the floor, Katie bar the door, Molly put on another pot of Irish coffee. It's time we get this show on the road. And remember, you can reach me on my webpage at irishroots.com, and there you can check out the written show notes on my blog. Search, 50 of our 60 books so far we've got online searchable. And you can also listen to our other podcasts that are online. We've got 3 podcast series, one on Irish song and recitation, one on the Irish in America, and this one here, which is the Irish families worldwide. They're just another free service from the Irish Roots Cafe, and you can also phone me at 816-256-3360 and leave your comments, your family search, your song, or your recitation on my recorder. Try it, you'll like it. Among today's topics, French Huguenots in Ireland, the Vignoles name in Ireland, in Galway, Ireland, and the Bodhran, notes from the Dublin Irish Festival, searching for Malloy, Matthews, Connolly, McDonnell, McMannis, Graham, and O'Connell, and families on the County Galway Map from the Four Masters. Oh yes, and the old Phytophthora infestans virus. That should ring a bell for all you historians into the famine. Well, let's take the notes for this week, and I think first we'll cover, since I'm just recovered. It takes a week to recover after we come back from one of those big festivals, you know, and so I think we just give you some of my random thoughts. And we met a researcher there who was wondering why the Graham family changed the name to Grimes, and if that could really possibly be so. And I explained that Grimes has been noted in the past as a variant spelling of Graham, and it's just another example of an Irish name taking the form of a more English-sounding name, and that was pretty common. Number 2, we had only one disappearing item this year at the festival, and it was the plastic case that held our new DVD. I put that on display, and I imagine it looked like it might have something inside it when it was borrowed sometime during the festival. I guess that means that might be a popular DVD, I don't know. But at any rate, I hope you enjoy the plastic case. And by the way, we've posted a new Irish genealogy and history videos on our web pages and on YouTube. I talked about that before. A few of them, I think at least the first 2 or 3 changed address on the web on YouTube. So I'll put the new links on our blog this week so you can get to them if you want to. But they're all on YouTube right now, and we're also got them scattered across our web pages too. Number 3, a rare question came from festival visitors this year, and that was, we are Anglo-Irish, and would there be anything here for us? Well, I just had to smile because anybody that came into Ireland in the 12th century is sure considered Irish today. And, of course, all of our stuff includes the Anglo-Irish, and it all falls under the heading of Irish for genealogists. And remember, those Anglo-Irish, that term usually denotes settlers from England from the 12th century or thereafter. The other question we got more than anything else, which way is the lavatory? Very interesting. Number 4, I took the 2-day boron class from instructor Michael Vignoles, or it's spelled Vignoles, and he descends from French Huguenots and hails from Claddagh in County Galway. And he also makes borons, and he also started making the Irish pipes, the Ilian pipes. That's pretty nice, too. And he had a fine class for those 2 evenings with 5 women and 5 men, and we were of all different ages, so that was a real interesting class. So I recommend it to anybody. And we had, number 5, we had one African-American researcher this year looking into specific confirmed Irish names that were in his family tree, and they found some history of the name in our Irish Family series, so I'm glad to hear that and to help out. It seems like every year the Irish family tree reaches out further and further. Number 6, the fire alarm at the hotel went off twice during the wee hours of the morning, probably 4 or 5 o'clock on the first night of the festival, due no doubt to someone who could not refrain from smoking after a late night session somewhere, or perhaps they were having their last Guinness and forgot where they were. Number 7, this year at the genealogy tent in Dublin, we had the Irish Roots Cafe, yours truly, and we also had Dwight Radford from Salt Lake City, Utah on hand helping people, and also the Franklin County Genealogical Society helping people as well. And that, I think they've all been there as long or longer than us. We've been there about 10 years, so it's getting to be a nice little family over there at the tent. And number 8, most people seem to be aware of the fact now that there is no such thing as an Irish family tartan. That's good news, since I've been preaching on that for about the last 30 years. Somebody always comes up with a new story, and it's just not true, folks. Believe me, I've looked and looked. Number 9, the Ohio folks treated us very good as always. They provided our meals, and one morning at our complimentary breakfast at the hotel there, we ran into a delegation from the Kansas City Irish Festival. That would have been Ed Scanlon and crew, I think. And I tell you, it seems the festivals are working together, helping each other out. And that's a very good idea indeed. Number 10, the 2 most often used resource books at the festival this year were the Book of Irish Families, Great and Small, and the Master Guide to the Variant Spellings of Irish Family Names. You know, each year we bring several $1,000s worth of Irish research books to the festival. We open some of them up and let the folks look, and those are the 2 most popular this year. I don't think there's any other Irish festival in the world that brings as many Irish family books as we do. That's an interesting fact too, isn't it? Well, those are the top 10. Let's move on to something else. Let me see. What are we going to make the book of the month? Since we were talking about County Galway and the Huguenots there, we're going to make Families of County Galway, Ireland, our hardbound book with little encapsulated family histories in it, a book of the month, and the genealogy and family history notes for County Galway, Ireland. That'll also be that'll be the second book of the month. And the third book of the month will be, this is not one of mine, it's Ireland's Huguenots and Their Refuge, 1662 to 1745 by Hilton, Hylton. So there's 3 real good reference sources for researchers. And let's take a look here. We chose Family Galway. What family names are going to be on the map of the 4 masters? Well, I'll include, 40 or 50 of those names on our blog. And they're going to be, of course, the names that you know, like Birmingham and Blake and Bodkin and Burgo. You know, Burgo is a name. It can be Burgo, it can be Burke, it can be Burka, it can be D. Burka. A lot of permutations of that family name. And I've been waiting about 10 years to use the word permutations when it came to family names, and I've finally done it. What are some of the other names as I skim this list? Joyce, of course, Hughes or Machew, O'Brien, Cahill, Callanan, Canavan, Connor, Cullen, Kelly, Kerwin, Lennon, Madden, McGinn, Manning, of course, Mulrooney, Naughton, Scurry, Tracy, Scarrett, and Staunton are just a few of them we'll have listed. I hope we'll have yours there if you're on that map. I know it means a whole lot. I know everybody comes and looks at the map when we have it displayed, and they all hope to find their family name, and they wonder, what in the world is wrong with that map if it doesn't have their name on it? And of course, the truth is you can only put so many names on there, and usually they're the most popular name or the most royal names, but you never can tell. You know what time it is now? It's time to raise our eyes skyward and give thanks. Let's ask for some help, and here is today's member search list. Member Deborah Malloy Davis of Norfolk, Virginia, searching for Malloy and looking for descendants of Patrick J. Malloy, who came to New York around 1888, 1890 or so, and he had a wife, Catherine. And what are we looking for next? Number 2, Elaine Stevens of Pittsworth, Australia, looking for Matthews, and that's with 1 T or 2 T's, and looking for Patrick Matthews, and the wife's first name was Bridget. Number 3, Kay Diblick of Winfield, Illinois, looking for Connolly, O'Grady, Mulvihill, Connolly, and McCormick. I'm working on a genealogy of the Connolly family, she says. I particularly need to know the ancestors, places of birth of Catherine O'Grady, born 1811, and John Mulvihill, 1808, who married in County Kerry. Also, Dennis Connolly, born 1819 in County Cork, and Catherine McCormick, born 1827 or 28 in County Tipperary. Well, let me see. Our next new member is Peter Jones of Surrey in the UK, looking for McDonnell and Harts. It says, I'm working on a genealogy of the Connolly family. Good gosh, we got another Connolly. I wonder if he's related to Kay up there. It said, I particularly need to know the ancestors and places of birth of Catherine O'Grady. Oh, these two are related. I bet they talked before they joined. And John Mulvihill, born 1808. Well, this is the same family. That'd be a real coincidence if you didn't know each other at all. But you two better get in touch. And remember, anytime you hear something you need to have a member contact you, just let me know if you hear it on the podcast, and I'll let them know you're out there waiting. Well, what do we have? We had 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, number 5, Diane Bertrand, new member of Jacksonville, North Carolina. I don't have a search given for you on the membership form, so you might send that in to me if you're looking for something, or if you got a question, I'll put that in your file. Okay, next, Dennis McMannis of Lexington, Indiana, looking for McMannis. John McMannis, who was born around 1730 in Ireland, died 1805 in Louisville, Kentucky. Well, I've noticed over the years these dates keep getting earlier. That means our researchers are more and more expert, doesn't it? And let me see. Next to last, Russell T. Graham of Moscow, Idaho, looking for Graham. And Thomas Graham came to Stevenson, Illinois, 1840 to 1850, along with Mary, his wife. And lastly, but not leastly, Barbara Hess of Grand Ledge, Michigan, looking for Campbell and O'Connell. And he says looking for John and Margaret Nee O'Connell Campbell. And Nee O'Connell means the maiden name was O'Connell. So if you're out there researching and you see or hear somebody say Nee, as in like N-E-E or N-I with a accent mark over it, that refers to the maiden name, a woman's maiden name. So Nee O'Connell means the maiden name was O'Connell, and Campbell is her married name. And they traveled from Ireland to Philadelphia in the 1860s, and they may have immigrated on the ship Stadacona on 9/23/1863. And Margaret's maiden name might have been O'Connell at that time. Boy, it might have been that ship, and it might have been O'Connell. We've got a guessing game here, don't we, until we dig up some new facts. But that's what it takes. And it says they find John and Margaret married on the census of 1870 when he was 35, and they had a son, John, aged 2 months. And they can track them all the way down through 1900. They think they were from Tyrone or Donegal. And any information that you might have or can help would be wonderful, Barbara says. And that reminds me to say thank you to all of our members, because without you, these podcasts would not be possible. We sure do appreciate it. Oh, the Irish family name of the day. We don't have any history on it, but we're going to go ahead and make the name of the day Vignoles or Vignoles, Vignoles. That probably is pronounced in a French way, and I just don't know how to do it, so we'll just be guessing. And we're making it in honor of member Michael Vignoles, our Bodhran instructor at the festival this year. And he was a native of County Galway and of French Huguenot descent, according to his own reports. And he came from Claddagh. And he said, he gave me a little brief little synopsis, and I said, yes, I do remember the French Huguenot records popping up every now and then in my files. And just a few of the names I can't mention. We got over 2,500 French Huguenot names in the Book of Irish Families, Great and Small. But they're names like Abraham and Adam and Adrian and Alban and Andart, Andri, Arnaud, Aser, Astori, Auber, Ogle, Autain, Azir. And those are just a few of the names that begin with A. I'll try to put at least all the A names on the webpage. You can get an idea of what we're talking about. Now, if we take a look at the Irish coats of arms, what do we see? No arms found for the family in Ireland in our records, and that sort of makes sense because they came in late in history and they weren't really noted nobility, I don't think. And it's a very rare name as well, as most of those French Huguenots names will be. We'll have more about that in a bit. Now, if we go to the Freemaster Index search of Irish names at irishroots.com, what do we find? Well, we're in luck. We find it twice, even though it's a very rare name. And the first instance, it's found as a Huguenot family name in the works of John O'Hart. And in the second instance, it's found given in the Milesian Families of Ireland book. And of course, the Milesian families were the early Celtic families that came in. But that book also lists all the other settler families that came in later that they could find. And sometimes you wonder where they got all the names. But boy, in this case, it sure was correct. It found the name, so 3 cheers for them. That book was put together in the middle of the 1800s, and most of the records they drew from, I'm not sure we can even find them today. Now we're going to move on to the website of the week. And that's going to be the Huguenots of Lisburn, Ireland. And that site gives the families of Huguenot origins that settled in Lisburn, along with history and photographs and some notes on a few of the families and some current day spellings. And they don't have all of the current day spellings, but they've got a record of folks that probably came in there early on. And if you think you've got a line along that line, then this is the place to check. I'll have a link for that on our website. It's at www.lisburn.com. That's Lisburn. Well, we'll move on down to the end now. I'm still unpacking from the festival, and we've got curious news and notes. I've just got time for one, and we'll be back with a bunch of them next week. We'll get back on track. And that would be, did you hear that they've been researching the cause of the potato famine again? They dug up some 150-year-old potato leaves. I think they were in a museum, and they started to analyze them. And they found some new information. It's still a family of Phytophthora infestans. I think that's a virus, but it's a little bit different strain of that. And they're going to publish the results of their work next year. They think it originated in the Andes Mountains in South America. And did you know that potato blight is still a continuing problem, and it's destroyed crops throughout the world? Just a few years back in Russia, the peasants suffered a devastating loss of this staple crop. I don't know how much publicity it was given, but the same old problem that drove so many of our families to America has been hitting Russia and other places throughout the world. So it's time we figured this out, and that's what they're doing, and they're doing it through DNA of the virus, just like they're tracing us back through DNA of the people. It's really the newest thing. And by the way, that DNA link on our page goes to Family Tree DNA, and they're offering, I believe, some special prices this month, at least till the end of the month. So if you're on the ledge thinking about jumping, Well, if you jump now, the price should be a little bit less. You can check with them to be sure. Well, I think that wraps it up for the day. Send your comments by clicking the contact link on our webpage at www.irishroots.com and send to our American street address if you want to. That's the Irish Roots Cafe, Box 7575, Kansas City, Missouri 64116. Leave your message or report on things in your part of the world when you call my phone recorder at 816-256-3360 or Skype me at Irish Roots Cafe. Members foot the bill so they get first priority, but we're open to all. And by the way, a big thank you to all of our members. And away.